Hello everyone, welcome back to another video, and today I want to talk about gaming. Now, I'm a gamer. I think you're probably a gamer, right? And we're all happy little gamers out there, I'm assuming. If you watch my channel, I play a lot of games, and lots of different games, and from Minecraft to Mario to tabs and racing and stuff like that. But anyway, I just want to say it's kind of crazy that Xbox, as a general, its anniversary is today, or not today, but this year, come November 15th, I think. They're 20 years old. 20 years ago, Microsoft went and brought all of us Xbox. And that's pretty cool. So I want to bring that up for today's video. And that's kind of crazy to me. I was like, wow. It's been 20 years ago. It's a long time. It's 2001. Yeah. That's the year. And, well, it's kind of crazy that we have, we had the Xbox, the original one, right? The 360. Then the Xbox One. Now we're at Series X. Only 4? That's interesting. In 20 years, only 4 major, really, consoles. Of course, made other variations within those, but it's interesting. But anyway, that's not the main focus I wanted to focus on. But I guess I want to say this is, Xbox has basically been doing almost the same things for 20 years. The first console is basically the same thing as we have now. That series. Not. You're saying, what are you talking about? This is what? Well, the shape. Well, okay, the shape is maybe different now, but it's really tall now. But the shape has always been a boxy kind of look. The controllers always looked very similar, and which is kind of a good thing, in my opinion. That the controllers all look the same, and all feel kind of the same, which is kind of good, because consistency. But all they did was really just upgrade, the graphics, the hard drives, the hardware, and everything else is pretty much the same. The discs are, probably about the same too. So nothing to poo-poo, Xbox here, but that's just all they kind of done. They haven't really innovated. You know what I mean? They contribute some stuff. Hey, they, the graphics on Series X. I actually never played Series X, but Xbox One was really good. Where it had really way better graphics than Xbox 360. So it was a very big jump. So it was that's a good example. You know what I mean? So it's it does a lot to focus on graphics, performance, all that stuff like that. The performance on Xbox Series X, I heard it's super fast. So that's really good. So yeah, and just again, almost happy birthday, Xbox. You're 20 years old. Whew. Getting pretty old over there. But anyway, not as old as a Nintendo, right? Nintendo is they're like Yoda, They're the wise ones, right? They're since 85, we've seen. I mean, the company's since 18 something something, but like been in the video game industry since 1985. So, you know, Nintendo has been kind of crazy out of the park. Um, I would say really innovative. Is the word right? Yes. Um, Nintendo. Okay, so shifting things here. Just Nintendo really made gaming better, and like back in, before Nintendo was a thing, before Nintendo started creating, I guess, Super Mario Brothers and Zelda for the NES, gaming was dying. Really, it was. I mean, the video game crash in from 83 to 84 happened, so that crash of these game kind of stale, like game stale. So, meaning it just, not a lot of people were relating to video games. It was kind of just like it was dying out, and then here comes Nintendo, and they kind of saved Nintendo. They saved video games as a whole. I mean, that's kind of crazy to think about, but it's kind of true. Nintendo, they, man, they really did save the industry with Mario and Zelda and all the other stuff that they created in the NES, and that's kind of crazy. That the one you don't think, really, the NES, that's, think of the time it was out. It's 1985, and you have your Atari 600 or whatever it was called, and that was like the biggest, really, at the time. That was it. You had your Atari and arcade. That was really it. You would went to the arcade, or maybe you had an Atari 600 or 1600 or whatever it was called. That was it. So you played you played all the arcade games already. So you're like, okay, I'm done. And now what? And then you're like, okay, I can buy Atari. The Atari was old. It was getting old. It was, I don't know exactly, but I think 70s at least. I think it was like 78 or 77, 78. But it's 85. We're like the 80s, the 80, 83, 84, and then before Nintendo released, I think it was September, I think it was released for NES. But anyway, but like my point is, kids didn't really have that. Kids had video games, but and of course they played like in the arcade. But when they got, that was just a thing that they would do on a Sunday afternoon or whatever, and that was it. You know what I mean? It wasn't this, big thing. Really, it wasn't. But then here comes Nintendo, and they make this. That's exactly why. And they're like, oh, and this Mario game. Well, this Mario game, it's really fun. Like, it's really fun, and it's like, well, it's really colorful. That was really colorful for its time. It was revolutionary for its time too. You gotta think of what before that. Before that was like Pong. Before that was like Donkey Kong. Before that was like Pac-Man. Games like that. So where you jump on things and enemies at different levels and different stages, and it kind of more of an end to a game. A lot of games didn't have much of an end, especially arcade games. They're kind of just like grind, where you just kind of just keep on going and going and going, just having their stages different and hard, and the stages keep getting harder and harder. Now you got where actually you have a goal. There's a goal in gaming. So in video games, so that's very, very that's what was revolutionary, and that's what made Nintendo so, I think, for me at least, makes so great. I mean, Xboxes, they just, I mean, sorry, I'm gonna little diss Xbox right now, but like, I know on their like 20th anniversary here, but well, technically that's in November, um, um, but they all they did was just innovate, and even with PlayStation, I never really played it. I mean, I actually played PlayStation before. I played PlayStation 3 before at my grandma's house, but like both the PlayStation and honestly, and both PlayStation and Xbox, they just innovate graphics and that kind of stuff. That's really it. But Nintendo really changed the way we play games, and at least tried to. You know, you have, and then it. I mean, literally, Mario 64. Heard that game before? Well, that was literally the first 3 game ever in 1996 for the Nintendo 64. So, literally, the first. I mean, think of that. I mean, every single game is 3D some way. 3Ds and some, yeah. Most of the big games like GTA 5 and Minecraft and Fortnite, they're all 3D, right? You wouldn't have that if you wouldn't have Mario 64, because that was the first one. That was always the first of. That's the thing. I think Nintendo was always the first of things. The first to kind of do this. And the GameCube, that was just interesting hardware. That was just strange. That was a strange thing for Nintendo. That's not strange. I mean, a cube, like who would have thought that a cube and have weird little discs that are not like normal sized discs. So strange. Anyway, and of course the most obvious one is the Wii, right? Like you swing the remote, swing your remote. Swing the remote that you play. That never been done before. In 2006, nobody were swinging remotes. Nintendo was, at least. So, I mean, hey, they have one up for that. I mean, that was revolutionary. And that's the funny, because now we go back to Xbox, and I say, they tried that, right? With the Kinect, with the 360, the whole motion sensor with using their body to then play your games. They kind of failed with that. That didn't really go anywhere, and that really didn't go anywhere. But Nintendo, I mean, in 2006, they're rocking it, honestly, and they sold millions and millions and millions of copies of the Wii. The Wii was just again revolutionary, honestly. It really was. I mean, they really went out the park with making. What's so fun? At least like Wii Sports and stuff like that. Wii Sports is so fun, and you just get to whack, like you're whacking a golf club or whatever, or you're bowling, you're swinging, or you're boxing. You feel. I hit myself. If you feel like you're actually doing that motion, and well, reality, you are, but you aren't. You don't actually have a tennis racket, or you don't have actual a golf club, but it feels like you do, right? And it feels right to do that. And I think sports is a good example. I think sports, having them actually swing and all that stuff is actually, it was really unique. And again, back in 2006, that was really unique. And then they try to milk it, and then they keep doing it for like a whole decade. So yeah, I mean that's what they will do, and then that's what every company tries to milk everything. Like, oh, milk it, and they did with the Wii, and then they did the Wii U, and that kind of flopped, and that was a whole thing with the whole touch screen thing. That was weird. Oh, I want to go back. Nintendo was I want to say this, because Nintendo was just left and right with all this stuff. A first mobile game. Literally, Nintendo was the first mobile gaming device, with the Game Boy. Like not GameCube, Game Boy. The Game Boy in 1989. Yeah, 1989. So yeah, in the 80s, we had a mobile game, the mobile game. I mean, now the mobile game thing is crazy. I mean, now it's mobile, microtransactions and buy this, buy that to play the actual game. It's kind of ridiculous now with the phones and stuff and the tablets. But it used to be just, here's the game, you play it on a little cartridge thing, and it was a little handheld, little thing. That was it. Yeah. And then, of course, after that, we had the DS. That was the whole thing. Where you flip it, and you can close it, and then you can put it in a little bag thing for it, and then you could honestly bring it anywhere you want. I mean, it's like, it has almost like an Xbox controller esque idea with the almost similar buttons, and it has a handle. And of course, Sony tried to do it back in the 90s with their own thing. Sony did that, and had a little screen, almost like a Nintendo Switch, but nice looking, I guess. Thick, bulky. The buttons were, it flopped. Again, all these companies, it's funny. Like Nintendo was again the first, and then other companies are trying it, and they're like, they fail. Every single one fails. The only one that does good is Nintendo. Like I don't know what is their strategy. I don't know, but it's just every time it's just something. Everything is so unique. Maybe it's just the Japanese style that they have. It's just that Japanese. Now I think about it, that's such. I mean, I'm not trying to be racist here, but I feel like that's so Japanese. Very Japanese to have very wonky, weird gimmicks in their stuff. I don't know why. It's just like freaking anime and stuff like that. Stuff is freaking weird. But I'm joking, by the way. No way. No, don't be offensive, okay? So yeah. But I mean, and you got the Switch, okay? The newest console. The newest console for that it's great. I love the Switch. I mean, again, Nintendo looks at. I'm trying to say is basically, Nintendo looks at, hey, how can we make gaming more interesting, more different than just here's a game, play it, controller. That's what Xbox does and PlayStation. Nintendo over here is you got the Switch where you can dock your system, which can be in handheld, or it can be docked, like I said, in a little slot to put in, and then boom, it's on your television. That is so genius. I don't know why the other two big guys, Sony and Microsoft, didn't do anything like this. Again, Nintendo, I don't know why the other guys step up the plate and start, mainly because that's not their thing, which it really isn't. Especially Microsoft, that's not really their thing. They're kind of just for performance, kind of things like that, graphics and stuff like that. I can see maybe Sony does try to do kind of that stuff, but again, fails. Well, the only one that they really do have a good thing, which is VR, and because they have the PlayStation 4 had the VR thing, right? So that's cool. A console with a VR headset, that's kind of cool. Never really played the PlayStation before, so I Which I got a PlayStation 5. I kind of want PlayStation 5. I actually want PlayStation 5 better than PlayStation. Than Xbox Series X at this moment. Just a little side note. I actually never even played a PlayStation, but the 5 looks good. Anyway, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, the Switch. The Switch again. The whole docking system is great. Okay, the Joy Cons. I don't love the Joy Cons. Honestly, they're okay, but like again, but those again, they're unique. The Joy Cons are unique. The Wii remote. That's another thing. Their controllers are so unique. I mean, you got the Joy Cons. I mean, two controllers, and that's you're playing with two different controllers and they're two different hands. It's so comfortable. I think the Joy Cons are really comfortable. I think playing with two hands, like one separate, in one hand and then another Joy-Con or controller in another hand. That's so comfortable. It's very natural. I like to just separate my hands and do that. It's so kind of relaxing position for me instead of like up and like you're, with the. I mean, I also like that. I mean, it's fine. Like I feel like maybe again for Xbox, like I feel like Xbox, yes, for like that stuff. Like when I like playing Forza Horizon 4. Check out the videos. I have a couple of videos about those. And that, yes, I think for that, I like to have a classic. I like the classic controller with, where it's all together, all together. I guess, right? For that experience, yes, I think that's pretty good for that experience. You know what I mean? So it depends on the experience. But if I'm just chilling, playing like Minecraft or something like that, like it's kind of cool to just have a natural, just kind of just lay there and just like, play with the Joy-Cons. So yes, I think the Joy-Cons are cool, but I mean, it could be a little fixing. Like there's like drift issues and stuff like that. So, but the actual concept is really cool, and it has motion controls in it. So it just had that motion controls that had with the Wii remote. Okay, the Wii. Let's talk about the Wii remote. The Wii remote was super interesting. Super interesting. I mean, that concept back in 2006, it looks like a freaking remote for your TV. It looked like a remote for your TV. I mean, you've seen the memes where your grandma accidentally takes the, Wii remote instead of the TV remote and say, why is not working, and it's turned on the Wii. Yeah. That was a meme, I think, back in the day. Or your mom, your dad turn on the TV, but it's actually the Wii remote. Haha, funny because it looks like a remote for the TV. But anyway, it does look weird again. It's weird Japanese, I swear. Again, I'm just kidding. But it worked. For the Wii, for the console, that's just what it was. And I wish we got something for like a different controller. I think for the Wii U, but we didn't. For some reason, I not even like, hey, here's a different. Well, I guess we have Pro controllers and stuff like that, but like, not weird. I think we should have got a different style looking Wii remote for the Wii U when the Wii U came out. You know what I mean? That would be cool. We did it. I don't know, like more of a, almost like a Joy-Con in a way, like, but Wii remote. You know what I mean? Something like that. More of a sleek, fit in your hand a little better, because that thing is tight, thick boy. But let's just say in conclusion here, to wrap this up here, Nintendo was always the innovator and always the one step ahead, kind of the one that's trying to make gaming a little more interesting, a little more dynamic, you know. But in Xbox and PlayStation is the trying to get the best graphics, the best quality. They're fixing on more quality than, you know what I mean? And the quality of the games, the quality of the games, the speed part of it, things. Honestly, you kind of need both. And now, I feel like maybe Nintendo will probably be the first one to do this. Again, the rumors of a Switch Pro coming, and again, I guess 4K it might be possible on the Switch. That's pretty cool. Or even 1080p would be great, because you can't even put 1080p. Most games are not in 1080p. They're usually 720. So that would be sweet, you know. So have that again, that technical part of it, and then having the weird, wacky, cool gimmicks with Nintendo's kind of stick, you know, and have them both on the same console. We haven't get there yet, and I feel like that's where things, you know, need to step up or need to kind of get going. And maybe we might that. Who knows? Maybe the Switch Pro might be kind of thing. I highly doubt it, but you know, of this, you know. Okay. Well, okay. I should say, what is next? I think that's always the question. What is next? Especially what is after portable, and also can be displayed on your TV, and also you can just pop it out, and now it's a handheld device. What's next after that? You know what I mean? We have VR. I didn't even touch on that, but that's a whole different, ballpark, honestly. We've seen VR in consoles, right, with the PlayStation 4. So, like, what is next? And I think that's always kind of what would you maybe thinking about maybe next time. Leave a comment saying what is next. What do you want to see next for the consoles of next generation? In the meantime, maybe you should like, subscribe, and hopefully like this video. If you did, I'll see you in the next one. Maybe, you know, check out the other videos. I usually play a lot of different games, mainly Nintendo. But if you're just a gamer just like me, I would just check me out. And yeah. Anyway, hope you like this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.